Thank you for joining us today. Today's video is about the top 5 DR mistakes not to make if you want your business to survive a disaster and how to get a resilient DR plan. The 5 things not to do is not having a recovery plan, not interrupting backups, not utilizing the cloud, not testing, and not knowing your service level. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and start explaining these. So the first one is not having a recovery plan. A plan is a must-have. The disaster recovery plan, or just simply recovery plan, should be a guide to help any company during a time when any sort of recovery efforts are needed. It should contain everything needed during an event. What's inside? Well, the plan must include your current backup types, who and how to contact to use those backups, any failover information, whether it's on-site or in the cloud, any gap information so you know what's not protected by your backups, and any other pertinent information to your environment, such as network configurations or VPNs that are needed for your failover efforts. All of these things should be collected and put into one place to formulate your recovery plan. This way, during recovery efforts, you have a singular document that you have to follow, and everybody can know their roles that is outlined in the recovery plan. The second component is do not interrupt. And this one is a very simple but straightforward thing. Never interrupt the backups that are in process. This is due to most backups working off of a chain of incremental images, and if they get interrupted, it could take considerable time for those backups to catch up. Well, what happens if you do? Well, understand that data loss can occur. Communication and a clear understanding of the recovery plan amongst the entire recovery team is paramount to 100% business continuity. Know that if the backup chain is interrupted or broken, it's going to put holes into your history, and it will take time for the backups to catch up and become 100% again. If recovery is needed before these are filled, data loss can occur. But what about during an emergency? It is understood that during an emergency, backups are going to become broken. So if an event happens on Friday night, right when the backups are happening, obviously you're going to have to roll back to the most previous time frame. Since most people go once a day, you'll have to go back to Thursday night. Know that whatever session was being backed up will not be available to your backups. But most importantly, we recommend that if you ever need to stop your backups for any time, please resume those backups as soon as possible. The third thing is not utilizing the cloud. Certain providers do offer cloud-ready recoveries, meaning that your machines are being backed up off-site in a cloud data center somewhere in a ready VM state. Now, sometimes they'll take a little bit of configuration to get ready for you. However, the fact that they're there and they're ready can put them miles ahead in certain disaster scenarios. If your provider offers a cloud-based recovery option, it should be leveraged every chance you get. In most scenarios, it will be much faster to fail over into the cloud than it would be to repair on-site damage. But what about your local backups? Local backups are great, and they do help tremendously when doing local recovery, such as grabbing a singular file. For more large-scale recoveries, though, such as your building collapsed and you need to recover, cloud is the surefire way to go. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more things to recover if that has happened, but local backups are prone to the same disasters that local machines are, such as a fire in the building or floods or a power surge, things like that that can completely knock out your environment, local and on-site or off-site. So being able to fail over into the cloud is paramount to keeping your business going even during a disaster. The fourth thing is not testing. Always test your platform, at the very least once. Whenever you adopt a new platform for recovery, test it as soon as you can after implementing. This will help you understand the platform and know the product even better. So, how often should you test? Well, ideally, we recommend testing once a year, but in reality, we know how busy IT directors and IT staff are. But just testing it once should be enough. The one test will help you understand and know the product. A good rule of thumb is if you cannot remember the failover process or the recovery process, it's time for you to test it again. Well, what if you don't have time to test? Well, it really is as simple as just make time. Perhaps working with a partner to help you test smoothly or assigning a singular person on your team to test the platform. and they can work with you. Trust us when we tell you that learning about the platform during a failover event it's never fun, and it always adds way more stress to any recovery situation. Knowing the platform and the process beforehand will always help. The final component is not knowing your service level, and knowing is half the battle. Different companies offer different solutions, and you need to know that if the one you have truly fits your company. Most companies are not exactly forthright with the different service levels and tend to hide neat service levels such as pre-configured networks or the ability to grab a single file for recovery. And because these get chopped up and divided amongst different service levels, it's often difficult for you to know what you get. So, what features should you be looking for? Well, in our experience, you should be looking for cloud recovery. This is very important if you're looking for offsite recovery. Your data retention policy, if you can customize this to your industry. File recovery, are you able to grab an individual file? Fully managed, are humans watching these backups? Is it a file level or an image level backup? It's important to know for recovery impact. Speed, will the speed of these backups impact your network activity? Is there a pre-configured network on the recovery site already for these machines? Is there any level of free testing? And if so, how often can you test these? So, with all those different things to look for, how do you know that you have the right coverage? Well, it should be as simple as working with your provider and asking them the questions about these services. So, some key questions you can ask to knock out several things. Is there a network pre-configured for your environment? Depending on how they answer that, will tell you if they have cloud versions of your machines and if there's a network already ready for testing. Secondly, how often can you test the platform? If they tell you you can't, well, that's a big red flag right there. If they tell you you can, that's a much better way to move forward and understand how often you can test the platform. If you can test it twice a year, now it's up to you to find the time twice a year to test the platform. And a question that we get often is somebody else managing these backups. And the question of should a third party be managing your backups for you? It can be crucial for monitoring and especially for smaller companies that are on a tighter budget. And there have been studies that have shown the total cost of ownership is less when you offload monitoring and storage of those backups to a third party. But it really boils down to staff, and if you can spare the people in funding for training on a new platform. Smaller and mid-sized companies tend to rely on vendors providing monitoring and management, so it really depends on your industry and if you have the manpower to handle that. And that really wraps up our 5 DR mistakes. It's not having a recovery plan, interrupting backups, not utilizing the cloud, not testing, not knowing your service levels. We thank you for watching this, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. You can ask us questions at info@asgardmsp.com, visit our website at www.asgardmsp.com, or give us a call at 888-941-9941, extension 1. And as always, thank you for watching.